the temperatures continue to drop on the outside, the Mid-Eastern Conference schedule is heating up inside across New Hanover County as the high school basketball season heads into the new year. Hey everybody, Joe Katz again from PortCityDaily.com, and welcome to our newest edition of Sports Roundtable here on New Hanover County Schools TV. Each week we'll catch up with the 4 high school basketball coaches from New Hanover County, Ashley, Laney, Hoggard, and New Hanover. The boys basketball coaches will be up first. We'll alternate each week with the girls coming in next week. The head coaches of the girls basketball teams coming in next week. First up, leading things off this evening will be the head coach of the Hoggard Vikings and Brett Queen. And Coach Queen, new year, the conference schedule is underway. All the holiday tournaments are out of the way, getting to a couple of consecutive days of practice before we get into the real nitty-gritty of this conference schedule. But before we jump into how the team's doing so far, moving into the year, you lost 4 or 5 starters, coming back, a couple of new faces to the team, new contributors. You had a football team that ran to the 3rd, 4th round of the state playoffs, so gathering them back on the team now. So how has this whole mishmash type of thing gone for you over the last couple of weeks?
Well, it has been an interesting start to the year. We did lose our entire starting lineup from last year, and when you have a situation like that, you would love to have your group together and be able to work through things early on, which we did not have the luxury of being able to do. Our football team did make a great run through the playoffs, and playoffs got delayed by a week, and so we're still at a state where our football players have had more games than practices. I think sometime this week we finally flip that, but it's been challenging. We've had to practice some things in games at times, and just some stuff that you usually have done by this point in time of the year that we haven't had a chance to get to because you're preparing for the next opponent. But I do feel like that our guys are starting to get comfortable. One of the things is not just the guys from football getting in basketball shape, but also meshing with the guys that have been out there for practicing for 6 weeks, and that takes some time. And I think we've gotten a comfortable rotation. It takes a while as a coach too to figure that out. And we've won 6 of our last 7 games, and hopefully heading in the right direction.
Well, I know you told me before the season started that this team had a chance to be pretty special on the defensive end of the floor, and wondering maybe where points were coming from with all these newcomers on the team and trying to mesh and find team chemistry. But that defensive side of the floor really stepped up the other night as we get ready to watch some highlights from the South Brunswick game. You actually posted a shutout in the second quarter. It was a 15-0 run. Grantland Adams, one of those newcomers, I think he had 15 points, drained 4 3-pointers for you. But on the defensive side of the floor, to be able to post or shut out an opposing team over the course of an 8-minute stretch, must be pretty happy that you're able to get that type of effort from your guys.
Yeah, I really was proud of our defensive effort, and we knew that we were going to have to be good defensively because they're good defensively, and so we didn't want to. We didn't want to get ourselves in a situation where we were giving up a lot of points, and you'll see from these highlights that we did start to shoot the ball a little bit better. That's another element. With our team is that our gym looks different. They tore down the stage, and there's a wall down there, and so I don't know if that's affecting some of our shooting, but we did shoot the ball better on Friday night in the game, and made some threes, and and we created some offense from our defense, which I think that's something that we need to be able to do to get some more points. We're holding teams to less than 50 points a game, but we're only scoring a little bit above 50, so need to figure out a way to try to widen that margin a little bit.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the Hoggard victory over South Brunswick this past Friday night.
You can see right here Rashad Wallace driving to the basket. Rashad's done a good job here lately. One of the guys coming from football, getting back into basketball shape and running the point, and did a good job. Had several assists the other night, and there was one of Grantland Adams' 4 3-point shots that he made. Grantland's been spending some time getting some extra shots up in the gym, and paid off. He wasn't shooting the ball well, but He's been shooting the ball much better here the last couple of games. And Tyler Steinman's another one that struggled shooting the ball early on, but has really come on here lately. He's got his three-point percentage up to a little over 30%, where it was down in the teens, a couple of weeks ago. So, bank that one in. But when you're feeling it, you're feeling it. So that was another pass from Rashad. Robert Wilkerson getting the finish right there, been steady for us. He's a guy that's been on the varsity team for 3 years, and he's averaging double figures and does a lot of good things for us defensively as well. And good pull-up jump shot for him right there. So he loves that shot. Right here, Tyler Matlock, another one of our guys, played JV last year, giving us some good minutes. Nice way to avoid a turnover right there, and came up with that ball and took it and scored. Tyler had a really good game for us. Another second half three, and there you can see the wall down there at the other end if people haven't seen our gym yet. Much different look down there than when we had the stage there. Here's Greg Blanks, another senior that coming off the football field, starting to give us some good minutes as the backup point guard. Another basket from Tyler Matlock on the pass from Greg. So I think we're starting to get things together. Chris Tootle, sophomore, great post move there and finish. And Chris has been really good for us all season. You wonder with sophomores how long it's going to take them to get going, but he's really given us steady minutes at the 5 spot all year long. Another 3 there for Tyler. And then this last shot is at the end of the game, Parker Nolan finishing right there. And Parker did a great job coming in and giving us some minutes off the bench. Another kid from the JV team last year. So we do have a lot of new faces, new names in the book. I think Robert was our leading returning scorer, and he averaged about 5 points a game last year. So, it does take some time, and but the guys have been great. They've worked hard, great attitudes, and they've been a lot of fun to work with. And hopefully we can just continue to get better.
Well, as you said, the defense putting points on the board on the offensive side of the floor for you, at least this past Friday against South Brunswick. A couple of games coming up this week, a couple of days of practice. What do you hope to get out of the guys here in the next few days of instruction before getting back into game play?
Well, like I said, we got 2 days of practice before we play this week, which I think it's only the second time we've been able to do that since football season ended, so that's good. To have a day to spend working on us instead of having to focus on an opponent. And then got a very good Laney team coming in on Wednesday night, and then Friday a game against Topsail, which we've already played. And so, those rematches when you're playing a team for a second time, when you've got some stuff and they have some stuff on you, that changes the dynamics. And so as we begin to go through the second half of the league, and we still have New Hanover that we haven't played yet, right. But Topsail will kind of start our run through the second half. And so there's some adjustments to be made on both sides when you're doing that, and so it always adds another dynamic to things.
Hoggard head coach Brett Queen, thanks for stopping by, Coach, for the first time this year to kick off the new year, and good luck this week.
Thank you.
Coach Brett Queen of the Hoggard Vikings. The Vikes will play Laney Topsail later on this week. A couple of days of practice coming up for the Vikings, led by a number of newcomers on the team looking to make an impact as we head through the Mid-Eastern Conference schedule. We'll take our first time out on tonight's show. We'll catch up with the rest of the New Hanover County High School boys basketball coaches right after this. First edition of Sports Roundtable this new year here in 2017. I'm Joe Katz from PortCityDaily.com, covering high school boys basketball this week across New Hanover County. Thanks to Hoggard head coach Brett Queen for joining us in our first segment this evening. Up next is the head coach of the New Hanover Wildcats, Kirk Angel. And Coach, you've escaped with a couple of victories here over the last couple of games. Fresh off the holiday stretch, you were Brogdon champions, played in the Joe Miller Invite. What are you finding out about this team as we get ready for this midseason push?
I had a good holiday. The Brogdon tournament was good, 3-0 in that one. Then the Miller Invite, we played some really, really good teams and get out of that 2-2. you know, we've struggled a little bit last week, got a couple of injuries, got to get some guys back, and, you know, we're looking forward to a fresh week and get rolling again.
A couple of the players that we're looking for so far this season, obviously at the point guard position, Freddie Taylor is back for you. What does he do for a team when he's able to run the point guard position, kind of a true point guard, and what he does in and out every night?
Now, when he's making shots, he's really dynamic. You know what he's going to bring every night. He just plays extremely hard on both ends, demands his teammates play hard. He's really become a good leader.
One of your shooters, Blake Smith, is back his senior season, I believe. You know, he's another guy that when he's hot, he could take a shot from anywhere on the court and it's going to fall through the bottom of the net.
Yeah, he struggled a little bit in the Brogdon tournament. Had a great Miller tournament, but that's the thing. When he's on the floor, whether he's making shots or not, you got to guard him. You got to respect him because he can get heated up in a hurry and make 6, 7, 8 in a row.
One of the guys that we haven't talked about, Player of the Year candidate in Romello Williams. This is a guy who can do it on both ends of the floor, and we always talk about, man, if he was an inch or two taller, not only would he be wrecking house here, he would be in one of these big-time Division I type of programs. Just the work ethic he brings to both ends of the floor, and the other night against Topsail to the free throw line. He was 10 of 10 from the charity stripe in a game that came down to the wire, and those free throws came up big for you.
Yeah, they got in the zone and we weren't making shots. In the last 3 minutes, I told him you got to go make plays, and he did it on both ends. And then 10 for 10 from the line. He can guard 1 through 5 for us. He's 6'2" maybe, but his heart's a lot bigger than his size. There was plenty of high major Division I coaches at the Miller that like him, but his size. But that's a good thing because they know a lot of lower level D1s, a lot of D2s and on. So he's got a bright future.
I mean, you've got guys from New Hanover High School that are all over the map right now when it comes to college basketball. Before we talk about maybe some of the other contributors to the team, a guy all the way out west in Tucson, Arizona, Kadeem Allen, raised the state championship banner for you. This is a guy that can do it all, similar to Romello Williams, minus maybe the height, obviously. But talk about how, not only New Hanover, but all the local schools have been able to put players in some type of college basketball atmosphere, whether it be D1, D2, down the ranks.
Oh, all the schools here in town have had, they put guys at the next level, and it just shows that there's a wealth of talent in this community that not a lot of people know about. And that was one of the things with the Miller tournament. We're hoping when we move forward, the local teams will get into that, to help their kids maybe get, evaluated by some college coaches. But, Kadeem had his career high the other night against Colorado, dropped 18. But, Coach Miller at Arizona says maybe the best on-ball defender he's ever coached, and says he cares about one thing, that's winning. So, and he's doing a great job out there.
You talked about guys that, maybe not get looked at, or some guys that are off the radar right now. You've got one of those players on the New Hanover team right now. I believe his name is Hayden Edgar. This is a kid that, no one maybe knew about who he was or what he was doing, where he came from. Played JV last year for you, and now he's contributing at the varsity level.
Yeah, he was all-tournament in the Brogdon. He's coming along. He'll take 2 steps forward and 1 back, but he's starting to figure out how hard he's got to come in and practice and work really hard every night, and he's got to bring it every game. It's not JVs anymore, it's varsity, and he and Josh Aldridge is another one. He sparked some interest during the Miller with his length, and they're both young, both juniors, and we'll get those guys back next year, but they're playing well right now.
When you look up and down the Mid-Eastern Conference, right now you're undefeated. You're going into a big week, obviously. When you look around the conference, I mean, really it kind of could shake out any which way this season.
Yeah, who knows? Laney played us. They had a great game plan coming in. Topsail is a lot better. Their new coach is doing a great job for them. Ashley's playing well. West has got it back rolling again. South's got the pieces. Hoggard's doing their thing. It's who knows? You got to bring it. We told our kids you got to come in laser focus every night in practice and carry it on to games because there's no give-me's.
Well, the New Hanover Wildcats right now atop the conference in the Mid-Eastern standings, and we're getting ready for a big stretch run here over the next couple of weeks that'll decide a lot as we head towards the latter part of the season. Coach Kirk Angel stopping by for the first time this season. Coach, good luck this week, and we'll be talking to you in a couple of weeks.
Appreciate you. Good seeing you.
That's New Hanover head coach Kirk Angel here on Sports Roundtable, visiting us for the first time here in 2017. The New Hanover Wildcats atop the division right now alongside Ashley in the Mid-Eastern Conference standings. It's halftime here at Sports Roundtable. We'll catch up with the head coaches from Laney and Ashley right after this quick break. Moving Heading into the second half of tonight's show, we'll catch up with the head coaches from Laney and Ashley High Schools here on Sports Roundtable. Hey everybody, I'm Joe Katz from PortCityDaily.com, covering high school hoops across New Hanover County as we move through the early portion of the 2017 schedule. Mid-Eastern Conference standings are kind of jumbled right now, 1 through 7, as we head into this midseason push. As we bring in our next guest, the head coach of the Laney Buccaneers, Nathan Falk, and Coach, assess the first 10, 12 games for us this season in Bucktown.
We've been up and down. We started the season, obviously. We started our season on time and didn't push any games back and played our games and played our season out without some football guys. Obviously, Sherrod Sidbury is a big piece of that. Then we got those guys back, and we've been up and down. Out of stretch, we won 4 games, and then we get into the Brogden and lost to a very good Panther Creek team. Gave one away, I feel like, to Strom Thurmond, and pulled one out against Ashley. And then we've got into the conference last week and dropped Hanover, close game by 2 points there at Brogden, and then lost to West Brunswick Friday night by 1 point. So we were right there, very close.
Moving into those last 2 games, down to the wire, obviously. Anytime you can go to Brogden Hall and potentially come away with the game-winning basket, it speaks volumes for what you're doing as a game plan, what the kids are doing as an execution standpoint. And then you come back a couple of days later at West Brunswick, or home against West Brunswick, another quality team, a gritty team that's always going to challenge you. Last 2 times, obviously, you get a chance to potentially put the game away with the last-second buzzer beater. Not too often you get to experience that type of thing in a high school basketball game, and to do that twice in a week and come out on the wrong end of those. What's the confidence in this team right now as they head into another week, 3 games this week?
Yeah, you don't want to be in those situations. You try to prevent, from that happening by what you're doing early on in the game. And so we've missed some shots and some layups, honestly, here and there, and some free throws here and there. And both those games at Hanover, we went 1 of 11 from the free throw line. That's not. We made big shots to win that game, and then on the flip side of that, on Friday night, we went 21 of 30 from the free throw line, but we didn't shoot good from the field. So you got to put that together. We got to close those close games. The energy, the effort, enthusiasm of the players are there. There's nothing wrong with that. Just got to finish those little moments, those little parts of the game.
A couple of players that are going to be contributing for you this season. A guy that we talked about a lot last year, Chris Bennett, a guy that can do it all for you. He's going to bulldog down low for you. Hunter Cook, a senior now that can shoot it from the outside. The Sidbury brothers, Sherrod Sidbury being just a sophomore playing quarterback on the football team, now getting into his groove here on the basketball court. What is special about some of these guys that could potentially give you the needed boost here to compete for a conference title?
Well, we've had contributions from everybody. DeMarcus McLaurin, our freshman, who's had anything but a freshman year, has been key for us. Davis Crenshaw has been good for us, as well as the guys you've talked about. So we've really had an entire team effort, I feel like. But those guys are certainly part of what we do, and a big part of what we do. Chris Bennett has a chance to be a 1,000-point scorer for us in a 500-rebound club there at Laney, which is unprecedented to find both of those categories like that. So he's close to that. Obviously, he's a big part of what we do. Hunter Cook's been around forever, seems like. So he's just Mr. Calm, cool with the ball in the late of the game, which is what you want. So I would say everybody contributes and is contributing for us right now.
As you move into this stretch run here, I know I follow you on all of your social media handles, and Laney Basketball, one of the only local basketball programs that I know of at the high school level, that you're able to watch games online as well, that you've been doing something new this year, and that's in this social media world, to be able to broadcast your games on Facebook Live. That's something new, and how's that working out for you? I know you added a broadcaster to the broadcast this past week.
Yes, we had Trent Brinkley come to me and wanted to help out and actually do the broadcast of our Facebook Live, which is cutting edge, kind of pioneering of what we want to try to do and stay ahead of the game and the world we live in. And I think that's been great. We're getting views for people that can't come to our games, and alumni all over the country and world, for that matter, that can tune in and watch us. And it's exciting, and our guys like it. It kind of gives them a chance to be seen with their family who's not able to come to games, et cetera. So it's good.
You talked about a 1,000-point scorer, 500 rebounder, and Chris Bennett, a guy that set some records during his playing days at Laney High School. Elijah Wilson, just down the road in Conway, South Carolina, senior season for the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers, playing under Hall of Fame coach Cliff Ellis. He's also moving up the ladder in the Coastal Carolina all-time scoring list. I believe he's 4th right now on the all-time scoring list in Coastal Carolina University history. You expect, or did you expect, as big of things as he's succeeding right now when you were coaching him or following him when he was playing in high school?
Yeah, Elijah's always had a knack to score the basketball, and that's always been in his DNA since when he was really young. So I knew wherever he went, he would definitely put up points. Now, the all-time leading scorer or how close he was, who knew? No one knew that. But I mean, he's definitely. I knew he would score baskets and put points up, and he has indeed done that.
Well, it's time now to get back on the floor. You got a couple of games this week, and let's do the extra couple. I know it's got to be frustrating right now, but let's do the extra couple of things that you need to do throughout the course of a game to come out with the victory and not have to wait for a last-second potential buzzer beater.
Can you suit up and help us get a layup?
You don't want me shooting layups, I'll tell you that.
We're going to try.
Coach Nathan Falk here from Laney High School. Coach, thanks for stopping by.
No problem. Thank you.
Coach Nathan Falk and the Laney Buccaneers. The Bucks looking to keep pace in the Mid-Eastern Conference standings with a slew of games coming up over the next couple of weeks, 3 this week. Sports Roundtable will wrap up in our final segment when we get back. The head coach of the Ashley Scrimmon Eagles, Webb Guthrie, coming up after this. High school basketball fans, welcome back to Sports Roundtable. Wrapping up tonight's show with the head coach of the Ashley Scrimmon Eagles, Webb Guthrie. Ashley, right now, right atop the Mid-Eastern Conference, competing with the top teams in the division right now as we head through the first couple of weeks of the new year. Mid-Eastern Conference push is underway. Coach Guthrie joining me here on set. Thanks again to all the other coaches for stopping by here on our first edition of the show this new year. Coach, as I mentioned, you're playing lights out right now, winning games, winning close games, winning games by big margins. What's been the recipe for success here so far for this team?
Yeah, Joe, been up and down a lot. Had some early success with our guys. You use the word competing. It's what we talked about all year, just compete. As well as we've been playing in stretches, I think we can play a lot better. We've really, every practice, man, just honed on our guys with focus. We've still got a gear we've got to get to. We're not there yet. I think we're going to compete in this conference in the back half. We've got to get there. So
right now, you've got a number of contributors who are back this season. And talking to you before the year started, you thought that this team, had something that could be pretty special in the players that you have. And what were those premonitions about in this early season?
Yeah, it's Joe, these guys really like each other. They're around each other every day in school. There's a good chemistry with this group. We finally got our 6th through 9th man. We've really got 8 or 9 starters. I think I've started up to 8, 9 guys at some point in this season. And I've kind of built them up in that. You guys are all starters, come in practice every day and push one another. It's really something we hadn't had in the past. The first 2 years, like my groups, but every day in practice we didn't have that 6 through 9 man to push them. Now it's practice is game-like, as every day as we can make it. And I think that's why you're starting to see our guys grow some in that. One
of the guys that seems like he's filling up the stat sheet each and every night, Datrion Day, your point guard, knocked down a buzzer beater against Topsail last week. What has made him such an impressive player and an important player for you?
Yeah, Datrion, love that kid to death. He's just a hungry kid. We go back 3 years, Joe. Datrion was cut from Ashley his freshman year. He's come in 3 years and just bought into everything I've done. He is by far the outspoken leader of our team. And me and him kind of both go into it with a chip on our shoulder. He's a kid who was cut his first year, and me being one of the younger coaches in the area, we kind of both go at it with that chip on our shoulder. And he's a kid I just love to death. He is going to take this team where it's going to be.
You talk about having 7, 8, 9 guys on your team that are pushing each other each and every day at practice, game time situations. Why don't you elaborate more on some of those guys, who they are, and what they mean to your team?
Yeah, our post guys is really a committee of 4. Keegan Myers, a new kid to this area, he's given us some really quality minutes. Jaquez Morant, we played the Topsail game. He really had the go-ahead basket before the buzzer beater we had. That was just a set play we ran, and he really came through. Good to see these guys' confidence grow in that. Jordan Gagem, he's a kid that's been shooting real hot for us lately. Altavon Max, another. I think he's leading the area in three-point percentage right now, shooting really well for us. So it's good to see those guys go through some close stretches. You know, Tuesday night was fine. It was good to pull one out to have their confidence grow in it. So these guys have seen they can play in close games and finish it out. So we're hoping to just get more of that.
Earlier in the show, I talked to New Hanover coach Kirk Angel about just kind of the parity in the Mid-Eastern Conference this year. There's no real proven favorite this season, and that must make your guys a little extra hungry to understand that they're right in the mix here, and if they do the right thing each and every day, that they could be sitting towards the top at the end of the season.
Yeah, we told our guys, if you don't rebound the ball well and you don't shoot well and you don't bring the level of energy to start games, you know, in this conference this year, it's pretty wide open. I think if you do that on a night-in basis, you're going to be in games. If not, you're going to be in trouble. Our guys see that. You know, they're hungry for it. They're excited about the game tonight, obviously. But, you know, you just got to bring it every night. Our guys know that. They know they're right in the mix. Again, we still got to get a lot better, and our guys know that as well.
Play in a holiday tournament like the Brogdon, where you play 3 games in 3 days. Now you head through a week stretch here where you play 3 games in 5 days. How does that maybe help prepare you for, you know, what you're going to face here in the next couple of days? You're going to have tired legs, and how does that depth prove valuable for you when you have a stretch of games like this, 3 games in 5 days?
Yeah, we played a lot lately. I think over the Christmas break, we played 6 games that whole break. Here we come back, and we've already had this year 3 3-game weeks. Here we are in the conference. We're playing 3 games again this week. It's really just throughout the week. We're resting our guys well in practice. We're trying to keep them fresh. We're trying to keep them injury-free. You know, Datrion, he's still recovering over an ankle. We think he's going to be good tonight for us. But that depth of 9 deep has really helped us. You know, like I said, when you've got guys off the bench that have been starters throughout the year anyways, everybody knows their role can change at any moment, and they're used to that this year. So,
3rd season as the head coach at your alma mater. What are some of the things that you look back at or look forward to each and every year as you gain more experience at the head coaching level?
Just excitement right now. You know, there's a buzz around our school this morning. Our kids in school are excited. It comes out to games. They're on Twitter tweeting about the Hanover game tonight. It's good to see. You know, the history of this school hadn't had a lot of that. We hadn't had, it's early, but we hadn't had a lot of games where we're going into playing for first place tonight at Ashley. To walk around school and see that, to see my guys excited, we're just hoping to build on that. You know, 3 years ago, we just wanted this group to compete and play tough with everybody. It's good to see them hopefully getting to a point where they're doing that.
Well, you're doing a good job keeping Ashley relevant here in the mix, and you know, getting ready for a push here in the league. That's pretty much anyone's division as we head through the next couple of weeks and into February. Coach, thanks for stopping by. We'll catch up with you in a couple weeks.
Always a pleasure, Jeff.
Head coach of the Ashley Screaming Eagles, Webb Guthrie, beginning his 3rd season, now in the middle of his 3rd season, has the Screaming Eagles playing at a high level right now, atop the division in the Mid-Eastern Conference as we head through the month of January. That will do it for our first edition of Sports Roundtable here in 2017. We appreciate all of the boys basketball coaches from across New Hanover County for stopping by. Coming up next week will be the 4 girls basketball coaches from Ashley, Hoggard, Laney, and New Hanover High School. For New Hanover County Schools TV, I'm Joe Katz, and we'll talk to you next time.